So do you feel that you've achieved your leadership role by fluke? Maybe you feel incompetent or unqualified at the level of leadership role you've achieved. If that's the case, you are highly likely to be suffering from imposter syndrome. Let me share how you can overcome those challenges. This might surprise you, but in a recent study by Forbes, even though with significant training and education and qualifications, 73% of women felt that they suffered from some form of imposter syndrome, and that was extended to 63% of men. The 4 Ps give us a great indication as to how we can see this in action: procrastination, perfectionism, people-pleasing, and paralysis. So we can often feel that we don't belong as leaders, and I'd like to tell you more about the confidence that we can build through leading from within and the dimensions of leadership from leading from within that will help us overcome some of those significant challenges. When working with our clients, we look at 5 steps to help combat the challenges that imposter syndrome brings. Those 5 steps start with self-awareness. Jung quote, "The beginning of all knowledge starts in self-awareness." Self-awareness then can lead to self-esteem, which allows us then to consider how we lead with purpose, how we're authentic in our leadership, and how we build resilience to stress. So let's think about this in a little bit more detail. If self-awareness is the starting point for this, then helping leaders find mechanisms for a much deeper understanding of themselves becomes really critical in how we move this forward. Working with many of our clients who have found that virtual leadership and working with people remotely has really heightened their need to become self-aware, then we have found that profiling tools such as insights discovery will provide a really deep understanding of how I operate, my preferences, how I make decisions, how I see the world, the lenses through which I decide how to do things. And that deepened self-awareness then leads to a better appreciation of how we manage ourselves and how we develop self-esteem. The relationships that we create are critical, and the ability to be on purpose. Being on purpose is all about ensuring our own values align to the values in the organisation that we're working to. And we can really tap into our own personal why we show up every day, where we do our best work, and actually how we can generate some of that into the needs of our people around us. Resilience to stress is critical. That is a whole topic in its own right, but just the initial review of the sorts of triggers to stress. How do we identify those early? How do we then start to manage them when they show up? And how we can use coaching and support for our employees in a leadership environment to manage that. Imposter syndrome is not going to be solved overnight. It's a long journey of building confidence and self-awareness. So to help with that, we would love to invite you to attend a free 1-hour webinar, which will go into a lot more detail than we've talked about today in those steps to build self-awareness, self-esteem, and resilience to stress. If you attend that webinar, you'll also get access to a free Insights Discovery profile that will really help you understand your own leadership preferences, how you view the world, how you make decisions, and ultimately how you can start to adapt and connect more effectively to help combat that imposter syndrome challenge that we are all facing. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.